Hi friends, today we are going to discuss in this lecture about the next session about the properties between cross-Nicoll, that is the properties between analyzer. Why it is written as a cross-Nicoll? Because the shortest axis of the polarizer, that is the whichever the prism, Nicoll prism which is present below the rotating stage and whichever the prism which is there above the rotating stage, both once you insert the analyzer, the shortest axis of the polarizer and the shortest axis of the analyzer, they have been crossed. And in this condition, when you are going to study the properties of the mineral under the microscope, then these properties have been written under the heading properties between cross-Nicoll, that is the BXN, that is the simply analyzer, properties between the analyzer. Now, in this, the first simple property is isotropism and anisotropism. What is the isotropism? Iso means equal, tropism means condition. When the inserted the analyzer in and you're going to rotate the stage throughout the 360 degree, which the whatever the mineral which is there below the cross wire has become black, become dark, and throughout the 360 degree its intensity is remain same. That means the mineral has completely extinguished, it is remain dark through 360 degree, no intensity light to dark, it is no dark means complete dark throughout the 360 degrees, then that mineral is called as isotropic minerals, and the property or the phenomena is called as isotropism, and it is called as isotropism. Once the middle become isotropic, rest of the properties are not studied. They are gone. So the example is the garnet. Once the garnet insert the analyzer, you will find out garnet will become black throughout the 360, and that is the diagnostic property of a garnet. That is light pink color, high relief, irregular cracks, and the isotropic. If you remember isotropic, that is a more than sufficient for recognizing the garnet one. But those middle in between the dark position, there are the four dark position, and in between the four dark position, the middle shows color, shades of colors are there. Then that will be become the anisotropic. First, we'll see the isotropism. What is there through the rotation? If you go on rotating now, the mineral color will remain same black, so that is the isotropic mineral, and the phenomena is isotropism. Example is the garnet one. In anisotropic, at four places the mineral become dark, and in between the four positions we are going to get the bright colors. Yes, the colors will be there, whether maybe first order, second order, third order, whatever the color is there, that we are going to get the color. And once you get this one, these minerals are called as anisotropic minerals, and the phenomena is called as anisotropism. And now the rest of the properties which will be we are going to study in those minerals which are anisotropic. Rest of the properties which will be present in anisotropic, but mineral become isotropic. Rest of the properties are absent in that particular mineral. Now, which are the anisotropic mineral? Biotite, which we are normally going to study in the FIBSE. Biotite, hornblende, augite, these are the anisotropic mineral. In addition, we are going to have the hypasthene is we are going to study. So these are the minerals. Then quartz, orthoclase, plagioclase, calcite. These are also the colorless mineral which are there. They are also the anisotropic mineral which are there. So that we are going to make out. So just we'll see that position. That now this is the position, the dark mineral at this position, and now as you rotate, we'll find out the color is there at this position. So in between this position where we have 0 degree, and this is the 90 degree. In between 1 degree to 89 degree, we are going to get the colors, and these colors will be nothing but the anisotropic mineral which showing you the color, and the phenomena is anisotropism. Is throughout the 360 degree, the mineral remain showing you the changes in the color. You can see now these are the four positions in which the middle become dark, and rest of the position the middle shows the color. So that is the what we have anisotropic middle anisotropism, and the middle is anisotropic. Come to the next one. whichever the position, the anisotropic mineral become dark. Whichever the position at which the anisotropic mineral become dark, that positions are called as the extinction positions. Now we have to see which are the positions are there. There are three different types of extinction positions are there. The first one, what we are going to do it, take out your analyzer, best simple one, make cleavages parallel to the vertical crosswire. You can easily make it out in the plane polarized light. Insert the analyzer. Now at this stage, once you insert the analyzer, once you get a color of the middle is maximum dark, shift left or right, then that position will be called as straight or parallel extinction, in which the middle become dark when the cleavages edges are parallel or length of the middle is parallel to the vertical crosswire or horizontal crosswire. That position is straight or parallel, means say example 0 degree, so cleavages, and this is the edge or the cleavage, and this is the crosswire. So 0 degree, rotate, this is a 90 degree, again rotate 180 degree, again rotate 270 degree, again 360. So at four places the middle become dark. In this, cleavages or length of the middle is parallel to the vertical crosswire or horizontal crosswire, and that is called as straight or parallel extinction. Here we have the best example is biotite is there, muscovite is there, tourmaline is there. So these are the mineral which are there, which showing you the straight or parallel extinction. We'll see now here for parallel to the vertical crosswire, we are showing you the middle, and now at this stage, the middle, when the cleavages or length of the middle is parallel, and the middle become dark. Now already the side is black, and if you make the middle black, you can't see anything. So here we are showing you the color so that we can get the idea that this is a straight or parallel extinction position. Next one is oblique extinction. Neither it is parallel to the vertical crosswire, neither parallel to horizontal crosswire. Means from 1 degree to 89 degree. In between, the middle become black. It makes an angle with the vertical crosswire or horizontal crosswire. Then that position, at that position, if the middle become dark, that is called as oblique extinction or inclined extinction. So here we have the best example is LS of hornblende, LS of augite, that will be taken as the best example for the incline. But whenever the middle is become inclined, then you have to find out the angle of extinction. This will also theoretically you have to study, but in practical also you have to find out how the angle of extinction will be find out. So what we are going to make out now, make cleavage, the analyzer should be out. Yes, make cleavages parallel to the vertical crosswire. Once you've done this one, insert the analyzer. At the same time, on the rotating stage, wherever the vernier scale is there, with respect to 0, take down the reading. That is your initial reading. Now already you are inserted in the analyzer. Hold the vernier scale on the lower side with the two fingers. With the thumb, slowly rotate. See your fingers and your hand should be away from the centering screw. And slowly rotate till the middle become dark. Once the middle become dark, that is a C, left and right. See the position. Whatever the position you got, it is a maximum. Then okay, take out the analyzer. Again in the plane polarized light, you will find out the position with the vertical, because we have been taken starting angle is with the vertical angle. We will find out that now the middle is in this position. That means it is a making an angle. So again with the vernier scale, with respect to 0, take down the reading, and that is your final reading. So the final reading minus your initial reading will give you the angle of extinction. It is clear now. This is the way you have to find out the angle of extinction for the LS of hornblende or LS of augite, or what we have the other minerals also you have to find out. Yes, this is the inclined one. The vertical cross wire makes an angle with the incline by the minerals. Yes, this is the clear picture now. What you have to do, cleavages or length of the middle parallel to the vertical cross wire. This is your first position. Take out the analyzer and make that position. Insert the analyzer. Take down the reading. This is your initial reading. Rotate the stage. Wherever it becomes dark, take out the analyzer. See this position. This is the position with the vertical cross wire. So the angle which is there, you have to take down again with respect to the vernier 0, corresponding will be your final reading. Then the difference between this will be your give you the angle of extinction. In some minerals, still you have to go ahead and there will get the angle. So this is where you have to find out the angle of extinction of minerals for the oblique, the mineral is showing you oblique or inclined extinction. Next one is symmetrical extinction. What is a symmetrical means? It exactly the two sets of cleavages are exactly bisected by a vertical crosswire as well as horizontal crosswire, and at that position the mineral become dark. And this is the best example will be shown by the calcite. So symmetrical extinction shown by the calcite. So what you have to do now? Make one of the crosswire parallel to the vertical crosswire in plane polarized light. Insert the analyzer and now slowly rotate till the middle will become dark. Once the middle will become dark, take out analyzer. Now see your position. The two cleavages will be exactly bisected by your vertical crosswire as well as your horizontal crosswire. So that is the symmetrical, and this is the diagnostic property of the calcite mineral. You can see now the two sets of cleavages are exactly bisected by the vertical as well as the horizontal crosswire. Come to the next one is the interference color, double refraction color, birefringence, or a polarization color. So there is a various color has been given. So here whatever in between the two dark position, you're going to get the colors. Yes, between the two dark position, you're going to get the colors. You have to identify the order of this color. So whether it is first order, second order, third order, or fourth order as per the Newton scale of interference color, or low, medium, high, or dull, bright, intermediate, any whichever you feel you have to make out. So that is you have to make out. So the first order which will be there, which is the colorless mineral, quartz, orthoclase, which will be normally shown dark gray color is there, dark yellow color is there. Whereas second order, it is a little bit of bright one, bright yellow, little bit bright blue is there. So that will be there. Then the third order is a like in brilliant color, like augite, olivine, muscovite. They will give you. But once I told you this is the colors are there, it is not easy to identify or remember that these are the way the color. Once I could not show you the example, you could not understand. So we'll go directly to the examples. Yes, this is what we have. The first diagram under the microscope, the middle shows you first order interference color, and that is the biotite. Come to the second one. Yes, that is the second order. Now you can see third order interference color. So first order, second order, third order. I think this will be clear one. It will require a practice. So you have to make out and just you have to visualize. Yes, whenever the observation with the interest, if you sit together, immediately we recollect, and that is the best one. First order, second order, third order. Yes, here we have given you the Newton scale of interference. It is a dark on this gray color as you go. See now, light bluish, then yellowish, light again increase. The brightness will be go on increasing towards the higher order. Yes. Next property is the twinning property. A mineral appears to be divided into two chambers or two parts. Alternate, they become dark white when you rotate the stage through 360 degrees. Once they are divided into two chambers, it is called as the simple twinning. Once they are divided into two chambers, it is called as a simple twinning, and our best example is the augite mineral. And alternately, these two chambers they become dark white. Now I can see here in this particular diagram, augite, one is dark, one is light. Now again you can see one is dark, one is light. So these two are in a different color. Again you can see the same one. You can see the different colors will be there. Yes, one dark, one light, one color, one dark. So that will be there. So that is the right simple twinning. Best example. Multiple chilling, more than two chambers. Alternately, they become dark white. That is called as lamellar twinning or multiple twinning. Lamellar or multiple twinning, and this is the diagnostic property of plagioclase. Whereas simple twinning is the diagnostic property of augite. Whereas lamellar twinning or multiple twinning is the diagnostic property of plagioclase. You can see here now alternate dark white latch shaped mineral is there plagioclase, where if you rotate through 360 alternate they become dark white. You can see in this particular you can get the idea. say now in this stage, at this first one is a light color, but as you get the rotation, we'll find out it has become dark. And here can see the last one dark, here in the last is a white. So alternately they become dark white when you rotate the stage through 360 degrees. So simple twinning, multiple twinning, or lamellar twinning. Come to the next one, cross hatching. This is the property shown by the mineral microcline, where the two sets of cleavages are cross each other. Two straight lines are cross each other. Two sets are lines are cross each other, where they become the alternate dark white. It is look like as what we have the sieve structure. Normally in the daily, in the morning when we are going to have the tea, you want to filter it out, whatever using the still gauge, that will be look like the same one. It is like a wire gauze, and this is the distinguishing property of microclean. Cross hatching, you can see now, this is the property which will be shown by the microclean. This is the diagnostic property of the microclean. So here we have seen the all properties. What we have, isotropic, anisotropic, extinction, interference color, then twinning, cross hatching, and one more property is there, that is a turbidity. But FY we are not normally use this one, we are going to use in the higher class. The turbidity is nothing but the difference between the orthoclase and chords. Rest of the properties are common, only the turbides, the water drops are there on the surface of the orthoclase. Once you get these water drops, it will be easily identified that this is the orthoclase. So turbidity is the distinguishing property of orthoclase. Thank you guys watching my video. Have a nice day.